head.
Welcome back, everybody, to another In My Head video. And if it's in my head, I'm probably going to make a video about it. And that's what this video is about Kiss seasons. And me and Carla has been tossing this idea around because we started making seasonal playlists. And we just started thinking, and me and Rick have always, and the other guys on the videos we've been in, we always talk about how certain albums they have a feel to them. It's either they have a feel to them, or this is the time of year, the particular times of year that we play them the most. And so what we wanted to do in this video is we just wanted to kind of go down through the catalog and talk about what albums, that's not album review. We're not going to get in the weeds on it. We're just going to talk about, we're just going to name an album and be like, what season does this make you feel like? Or what season do you listen to this in? It doesn't have to be a feeling. It'd be like, hey, I listen to this mostly during the summer or whatever. So there's no right or no wrong answers. This is all fully personal preference and personal opinions. And we definitely want to hear your comments down in the comment section of how you feel about these albums. So with that, I want to introduce the people that are on the screen with me. Of course, Carla is here. And Carla, it's been a hot minute. How have you been doing?
I've been good. Fall's my favorite season. October's my favorite month. So it's a fun time of year for me, for sure. It's a good time.
I love your page now. I love the direction you're taking it. It's very cool.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I can finally, I see on comments, sometimes people are like, you didn't give Carla a shout out. And I didn't have anything to shout out, but now I kind of do. So yeah, we can.
Yeah, go ahead and talk about it for a minute.
Yeah. So I finally, it's still a work in progress, but I finally have an Instagram page for my eventual YouTube channel. It's called Memory Bank, but I think Memory Bank was already taken. So I have to use real Memory Bank. But yeah, I just talk about music, vinyl, pop culture, just kind of whatever is in my head. I would have taken it in my head, but somebody.
Hey, I got that trademarked. Never mind. No, Gene has it trademarked.
But yeah, I just kind of, whenever I think of something, I just kind of talk, and it's been really fun so far. So yeah, if you want to find me on Instagram, it's just Real Memory Bank, all one word, exactly how it's spelled. And then eventually, once I get a new computer, then I'll get the YouTube channel started for that as well.
Very cool.
I love the feel of the videos and the reels and stuff that you've been putting on Instagram. It's like we're just hanging out with you. You know, they're very informal, and I think you were in your closet. I mean, it's just very informal, and we're just hanging out, you know?
Yeah, and like music wise, it's all over the place, which is good. Like, cause we're kind of boring in that sense because we only talk about Kiss. Like, it's fun because it's just anything and everything.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am. It's just kind of whatever, like I said, whatever I'm thinking, I just kind of, as long as my son's taking a nap or something, I just turn on my phone. I mean, half the time I'm not wearing makeup, my hair's whatever. I'm wearing probably the same sweatshirt in most of them. And I don't know. It's just me, stream of conscious, having fun. So thank you to everyone who's not subscribed, but thank you to everyone who's followed and commented and everything. It's very fun so far. Thank you.
Definitely. We're excited about that journey, and I'm excited to be involved in it with you. And we've talked about, the last time when you told me and you revealed to me a kind of offline, not in a video, that you were going to start doing this channel. I was fascinated, and I wanted to be involved however you want me to be involved. And we even talked about some crossover possibly, because Kiss is not the only band I listen to. Kiss is not the only band all of us listens to. I know some of the stuff that Rick listens to, and there's other stuff I listen to. And me and you kind of talked about doing some crossover type stuff, going into some 80s stuff that I grew up listening to and that we grew up listening to. And we've been tossing around some ideas for some videos that involve stepping away from Kiss a little bit, because if all they're ever going to do anymore is just have these landlocked cruises and put out box sets that we really can't afford, What else is there to talk about? Yeah, and I mean, I'm not really so much of a like speaking about Rick. We'll let him talk in a second, but I'm not so much of a collector's channel like Rick's is. But Rick's is not only just a collector's channel, but he's another person that kind of like you. When you're watching his videos, you feel like you're just sitting around his house with him, just talking to him about whatever he's talking about that week. And I try to get down in the comments of his videos and just say, he talked about something the other day, and dude, you hit it. I think I got in the comments and I told you, I think you replied on it or liked it, but I told you, dude, you hit it on the head. From a kid who grew up in 77, 78, the vibe that you had and the feelings that you were just waxing, and kind of, if you could get in a time machine and go back to that time, how it would be for you, that's how it was. I mean, that's really how it was. And so I really love the vibe that you have on your videos. So talk a little bit about, a lot of people know who you are, but if somebody doesn't know who you are, talk a little bit about your channel.
My channel is It's All For You Demon, and I do videos. I try to do videos every Friday night, and like you said, they're just Kiss nerd videos, which is a perfect segue because on Halloween, I loved nothing more than hanging out with my friends on Friday nights, listening to Kiss. And I know you all feel the same way. Mm-hmm. And I think what I love the most, and what most Kiss fans love, is just remembering being a kid and, seeing a Kiss Army kit for the first time, hearing Crazy Nights at a sleepover. So I have a book coming out on Halloween called Wax Night.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Old school Kiss fun in an online world. And basically this is just capturing that childhood fun, teenage fun we have as adults of Kiss. And I just tried to make this as nostalgic as I could. And it's very high level. You could probably read this in 15 minutes. There's some fun stuff in here. Collector's checklist. Just it's very nerdy, and it's so nerdy. I probably the two of you and maybe another person will get it, but
no, dude.
I'm tearing up. I'm so excited.
It's very nerdy. It comes out Halloween day on Amazon, so it's the fun of being a Kiss fan, and it's just nerd, and that's who I am at my core.
Yeah. Dude, I'm going to be one of the first people in your store to get that book. I cannot wait. I was just actually a segue from your previous, the year-long journey I've been on with you. And dude, it's like I said, dude, it's like whenever I'm reading and sitting down and looking at the Wax Night book, I just think about if me and you were sitting in a room talking about this, and I write down, and the one that you had today, because we all know it's Phantom season. We're recording this on the 27th. Tomorrow is the anniversary of Phantom, and we're all huge fan. Carla's a huge Phantom fan. I'm a huge Phantom fan, and we've talked about Phantom a lot. We actually, one of our most recent videos, we redid the soundtrack, what we would have done, using stuff from the solo albums that band had actually recorded.
That was great.
But you mentioned today in today's entry is talking about the superpowers. What superpower did you like the most? And did Peter really even have a superpower? And I kind of started thinking, I was like, what was Peter's superpower? And he could jump. He was like a cat. He was agile. And I don't know. I think if I could have my own superpower of any of them, I would like to have Ace's.
Oh yeah.
My man's superpower. And because he could teleport, And he said he mentions in in the scene where they're locked up, he goes, I could bend these bars with my mind. So he had like kinetic telekinesis, teleporting type powers. And I loved Ace's superpowers. I always thought his was the coolest. We used to do that when we were a kid. We'd go, when we were dressed up and playing, like me and my sister and my friend Chris and my friend Scott. That was my KISS crew. And we used to have like contests. You're talking about wax night stuff. We used to have contests like who could draw the face the best, and we used to pretend we were KISS and we were in the band, and we would act out like we were playing and play with the toys and all the other stuff, and just sit down and do the rub on double platinum like we've talked about doing with the crayon, and tracing the album covers and leaving those little marks. And whenever I get an album cover in the wild, when I get an album and I look at the cover, like my Gene, my Dynasty, you can see where somebody has outlined his makeup with, you can see the indentation of the pencil or the ballpoint pen. And just that kind of stuff is just like total nerddom. I mean, it just really is. And having had that, it's real special. But that book, I'm looking forward to that book. It's going to be awesome. And your previous book is awesome. And the cool thing I like about that is you didn't date it. It's just December 1st to January 1st to December 31st. That book can be bought at any time of the year, picked up at any time of the year. I actually will go through it again next year because there were some that I missed because if I was out of town on vacation or whatever, and I don't want to rush it and go back and try to go back through and just, let me knock out this week or whatever. I want to savor it. So I'll go back through it. It's going to take me another year to go back through it and fill in some blank pages. And honestly, there's stuff on there. Some of them I kind of left because we always talk about how sometimes our opinion and our thoughts on things, our taste on things change. So I actually left some room on some of the pages, like down towards the bottom, to like come back and like maybe a year later be like, I wrote this last year, but this year I feel this. Yeah. So great book, man. And I'm so much looking forward to the other one.
Thank you.
So let's see. I did want to touch on some real things real quick. I actually did all the albums. I didn't do compilation, like I didn't do double platinum. If you guys did, that's great. I also did not do later in the catalog, like you wanted the best symphony, Alive, Millennium, Vegas. I didn't do those. And if there's any that you didn't do, like when we get to it, you can just be like, NA, didn't do it. Because I know there's some albums Carla don't even like to talk about or discuss.
Yeah, didn't write anything down because I just wanted it to be very like off the cuff. And I think I stopped kind of with Kiss My Ass, but I mean we can do whatever.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to let you guys go first because Carla's the co-host and you're the guest, and we'll start with Rick. We're going to start with you, and then we'll come around to me because I want to hear mostly from you guys, and you can divulge as much as you want, why you feel, why you do whatever, or you can just say a season and be like, okay, cool. The first album.
Very fall to me. I think it has a lot to do with the black cover. The sound of the songs can be summer as well, but for me, it's just a very fall record. And even like the Mike Douglas show, for some reason, I think fall. I don't know why. Maybe it's because when Gene walks out, like the audience was probably thinking like Halloween costume, right? Right. And so it's just a very fall record for me.
Yeah, same here. Very fall. The album cover, just the black with the white faces, it just screams Halloween to me. I think especially if you're just at a record store and you weren't prepared for that album cover and you see it, it might kind of make you jump back for a second. So that to me is very fall. The quality of the album, like the sound, is very, I don't want to say grungy, but it's kind of that muddy sound. Again, just fall, not polished or anything like that. Yeah, to me, the debut album is definitely a fall album. And I would say overall, Kiss as a whole is kind of a fall band to me. Or I should say certain eras are very fall to me. But definitely for the debut, I would say fall.
All right. Fall for me as well. And for a lot of the reasons you guys said, it feels very Halloweeny. It's an album that I usually listen to a lot at night. I know we're not talking about times of the day, but or whatever, but it's a kind of a night album. And when I listen to songs like Black Diamond, you know, some songs like Strutter feels to me more like a summer song because she's walking down the streets during the summer. Black Diamond sounds like, okay, the season's changed and it's getting darker. It's kind of like it is right now. It's getting dark earlier. It's rainy outside. It's cold. So with the contrast of the makeup, the characters, and kind of the black background and the black album cover, it just has a very fall, almost like a late fall. And I said, you know, we can mention if albums feel like transition albums to you, because sometimes they do. Sometimes they feel like they could be this and this or this. It feels like a very late fall album to me, almost to the point where it's starting to get really cold, but not quite winter for me. And it's always felt kind of like you said with the music and the way it's recorded and the sound, just kind of like a darker album, even though it's got some songs on there that are lighter and fun and poppy and, you know, not real poppy, but just kind of, you know, like Nothing to Lose. Nothing to Lose is like a sing-along song because the second verse they're actually, so now I got a baby. You know, they're singing along. And it's almost like a bar type song, but a bar in the fall. Okay. Hotter Than Hell.
I would say, regardless of the title name, summer, but the heat of August, summer. And again, not anything to do with the title. I've always associated Hotter Than Hell with the picture of them on top of the Playboy building in LA. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I remember that picture is Gene says in History that he had 105 temperature that day. So I don't know. I just always think like summer, very hot outside, just almost like unbearable. So August.
Yeah, same here. Hotter Than Hell is definitely a summer album for me. It's very like pool day album, just very relaxing. Like I just want to put an album on, lay by the pool, have a drink, you know, go in the pool, come out of the pool, go in the pool, get out of the pool. You know, it's just a very summer album to me. The album cover, even though they're in black and white, it's a very kind of bright album cover, very fun. And yeah, to me, it's just so different from the debut in terms of its sound and what it feels like. So for me, it's a summer album.
Mm-hmm. Hotter Than Hell, we kind of talked about this, I think me and you in our last video, Carla, and we kind of differed on Hotter Than Hell. Hotter Than Hell is still kind of like a fall album to me, but kind of like an early fall, like you're transitioning from September into October. Because even though it has a lot of tunes on it and it has the song Hotter Than Hell, which, you know, kind of makes you feel like heat, there's a tone to it to me that's a little darker, and some of the subject matter on it is a little darker. So, and just, I've always, even though you have some elements to the cover that can feel very summerish, just, I guess, because the picture of the actual band's in black and white, which is, I always thought is a very interesting concept, that the pictures of the band on the back are in color, but on the front they're in black and white. It's just always kind of felt like a fall album to me. I mean, even kind of Halloweeny. There's some Halloweeny aspects into it, strange ways and stuff like that in it. But you know, you could say late fall or early fall coming out of summer, but it's a fall album. It feels very fall for me. All right, so Dress to Kill.
Dress to Kill for me is fall. The leaves are changing, like the leaves are orange and brown and red, and it's a day record, and it's crisp, cold, almost like chilly day fall record.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Same. I mean, like, to me, the whole album kind of revolves around the song She. So to me, that's a very fall song. That's, I think, maybe their most fall song. So for me, it's a very fall album. It's like a wet fall, like it rained that day. There's like wet leaves on the ground, but it's nighttime. So it's almost the same as Ric's, but instead of day, mine's night.
That's so much fun because it's so cool to hear. Like, I always think day, and it's so cool to hear somebody else be like, no, this is night. And then like, I'm like, well, maybe it is night, you know? And like, I love that aspect of these type.
Yeah.
Of songs.
Yeah.
Dress to Kill for me has always been a summer album. Except for She. Now, She definitely gives it that. She, to me, belonged on Hotter Than Hell. It has that. Anytime I hear She, I'm like, wow, it's like we're listening to Hotter Than Hell now. But songs like Room Service and just that upbeat and Room Service is always one of those songs that when I hear it, I want to be in a car going about 75 miles an hour with the windows down, just jamming because it's upbeat. And the tone of this album, even on She, is just so cleaner and brighter. And so it always just feels like it has always felt like a summer album to me, even though the cover of the album, again, in black and white, and the creepy, I don't know if I've ever said this in a podcast on my podcast before, but the back of the album used to always freak me out. That negative of the band on the back always was kind of just freaky, a little scary. I didn't really know what negatives were when I was a kid, so I was like, "Ooh, that's creepy. That don't look right." But once again, the famous corner in black and white, and I've been there. So Ric's been there. Carla, you need to go there sometime if you've never been.
I probably have been there and I didn't even realize it because I used to, like, before I was married and everything, like I used to just go to New York City all the time, like Manhattan, and I would just walk around all day. Mm-hmm. So I probably have, and I didn't even realize it. And
the pole's even more special now in a way because everybody always imitate whenever they get a picture. They put the foot up on the pole.
Somebody needs to make a bronze statue of Ace, just Ace, and put it there at that pole.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
That would be sweet.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. But yeah, so Dress to Kill has a summer feel for me. All right, so the first live album we're coming to, and this is live albums can be a little tricky because you got a conglomeration of songs. But what about a live?
I go Summer Night, and I think I just do that because I think of like a kid going to their first concert.
Yeah, literally same. I was gonna say that. Yeah, pretty much any live album for me, spoiler, is gonna be summer because I just think of concerts, and I go to more concerts in the summer. To me, they're more fun in the summer. So yeah, it's a summer album for sure.
Alive for me, it's always felt like fall. And it's not really so much because of the content or the recording of the album or anything like that or the songs on it. It's just always felt very fallish to me just because of the packaging, the cover, the dark cover, Gene looking so demonic or whatever. I mean, he just looks so badass on the cover of that album. All of them do. Like Peter with his pose, and and the way Ace is turned with his guitar backwards and the smoke and bombs going off everywhere. And then you open it up and there's letters on the inside, and then on the back there's the photo. It's just always simply because of the packaging, it's always just had a fall feel to me. So I kind of categorize that for me as fall. All right, so go ahead.
I mean to interrupt. I get that. Like the album cover does. Yeah, I get that. To me, it's still a summer album, but I totally get the fall based off the album cover. That makes sense.
All right, Destroyer.
Halloween, Paul Lynde special, October 29th.
Yep. Yeah, Destroyer is, to me the most fall album from Kiss. That is Halloween, like blueprint for me. Like you said earlier that she sounds like it should be on Hotter Than Hell. To me, she should have been on Destroyer.
Mm.
I think that would have been a great kind of match, whatever you want to call it, to God of Thunder. I think it would have been so cool to have like a God of Thunder and a she, you know, because to me they're like the same, like they're like dating in my mind.
Right.
So I like
the God of Thunder is dating the vampire she.
Yeah. So I kind of see those two songs together, but it is the most fall album from Kiss by far.
Yeah. Destroyer definitely has a fall feel for me. And like you said, Halloween, just the destruction that you see, and songs like God of Thunder. You know, there's some songs on it like King of the Night, like Detroit Rock City and King of the Nighttime World kind of has a summer feel to me, because it's like those are like, hey, you're going to the concert and you're the king of the nighttime world during the summer, and summer evenings is when you're, you know, doing the most and possibly getting into the most trouble. And it just always had that, those songs had that feel, but the album itself is in entirety, from the way it opens up all the way to the whatever they call the final track. I've heard it called everything from Rock and Roll Party to Rock and Roll Demons to whatever. So just, you know, that kind, I remember that always kind of being, it would just always had this eerie feeling, and I used to always be convinced that there was backwards messages in there somewhere, and I used to play it backwards all the time just to try to hear if there was something backwards in there, and never really heard anything.
When I was in high school, my first time hearing Destroyer all the way was on CD, and that I had it playing in my bedroom, and I was in my mom's kitchen, and that came on. Literally scared the living shit out of me. Like I was like, what is this? Like I had goosebumps everywhere. I thought, oh gosh, dang.
Yeah.
I was like 15.
Brant,
yeah, it's creepy.
Brant, what is scarier to you, that or Preacher Paul on Do You Love Me?
Preacher Paul on Do You Love Me? Do you really, 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 really love me? Yeah, Preacher Paul. Yeah. Preacher Paul's always.
I hate that song.
I love Preacher Paul. I will always support Preacher Paul. I belong to that church. I love it.
And you mentioned something about earlier about Dressed to Kill, about how she would have been really good on a Destroyer. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they could have spared it, because they were like, she was actually from Wicked Lester Time, and Love Her All I Can was actually from Wicked Lester Time. So they were pulling like so many old. I'm surprised they didn't stick Life in the Woods on there. I mean, it was like from such old times on Dressed to Kill.
Yeah.
All right, so Rock and Roll Over.
Now I'm going to imagine what it was like to be little Brant. But Rock and Roll Over to me has always made me feel like school's out, it's a summer day, your mom's taking you to TG&Y, and you get Rock and Roll Over. Like, or you can't wait to go home and listen to it. It's total summer running errands with your mom.
Yeah, I think it's a summer album too. It's definitely such a lighter album compared to Destroyer. And it's a little bit more fun, and it's a little bit more frisky. I don't know what the right terminology would be, but to me, it's just a little bit more upbeat, light, and it's such a opposite comparison to me from Destroyer. It's so opposite. So for me, it's a summer album.
Yeah. Summer album for me, the cover screams summer fun. The songs on it are just fun summer songs. So what about Love Gun?
Love Gun is July. Your family is going to Magic Mountain. Summer fun.
Yeah, Love Gun is a summer album for me. It's like the last week of school. because I just think of like, what are you going to do all summer? You get all excited making those plans with friends. And then with
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. With Christine 16, you know, I just think, I mean, like of school. So that's why I just think of it as like the last week of school. So that last week of May, early June for me.
Love Gun is a totally summer album for me. I came in really close to Love Gun. I came in, even though my first Kiss album was Destroyer, I came in the summer of '77, and Alive 2 was my first album, or the first album that came out after I'd become a Kiss fan in August. Alive 2 came out in October, and I was so impressed with Ace's song "Shock Me." I wanted to find out what album that was off of. So after I had Alive 2, and that basically sealed my fandom. And I loved Rocket Ride, and I loved Shock Me. I went down to the J. Joe's Records with my mom, and I was like, I want the Kiss album that Shock Me is on. And they're like, it's on Love Gun. And they gave me that out. And I remember seeing that album cover for the very first time, and them just looking like comic book heroes. And I love a lot of people love the Destroyer cover. To me, between the two King Kelly covers, I love Love Gun. I love the women laying all at their feet like they're rock gods. That album, just all of it, it is a total summer album for me. All right, so Alive 2.
Even though I always categorize Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, and Alive 2 as summer, I'm gonna say fall, and it's only because there is no better moment in Phantom of the Park than after they spin Abner around and he's dead, and you hear God of Thunder start. Yeah. And I just got goosebumps thinking about it. It's like the greatest feeling in the world. It just makes you feel like a 9-year-old kid sitting on the carpet watching that TV show and like not wanting to go to school the next day. You're just like, well, I guess it was Saturday.
It was Saturday.
You were just like, it's late at night. All I want to do is talk to my friends about Kiss. Like it's that magic. So fall.
Yeah, for me, it's just another summer album. Again, it's Alive. It's a live album. It's a concert. It's just a summer album.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Alive 2 is very summer for me, just even from the red on it and just the way it looks, the way it sounds, the gatefold with all the pyro. But yeah, I see what you're saying with it, that moment in Phantom. And when you say that, I remember it takes me back. It takes me back to me and my friend Scott and my friend Chris. And my mom made us all popcorn, and we're sitting in my living room floor, big floor model Zenith television on the floor. And we're sitting there probably 4 feet away from the television on the floor with popcorn and sitting there and watching and just seeing that special come swirling in, and then it start, and you see Kiss at the very beginning, and then you don't see them for another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I remember asking my mom, did you change the channel? Because you're not really following along with the story. But yeah, Alive 2 is definitely a summer album for me. I play it a lot during the summer. All right, so solo albums. We're going to do them in order of the catalog. So we're going to start with Gene.
Gene's definitely an October record. Gene's also a night record for me. I can listen to it anytime. It's my favorite solo album of the 4. I celebrate that album like nobody's business, but it's a night record.
Yeah, same. It is a night record. It is a fall record for me. I always, just the cover is very Halloween, very spooky. And then See You in Your Dreams, which is that the one that Katie Seagal, she does the background vocals for? right?
It might.
I believe that or Tunnel of Love, one of the two. She might have done both.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. To me, that song, I always think of Freddy Krueger when I hear that song. So,
I'm never going to be able to forget that now.
Yeah, I always think of Freddy Krueger when I hear that song. So, I always think of Freddy Krueger too when I hear Dreamweaver, like Gary Wright. But anyway, so yeah, I always think of fall when I hear Gene's album. It's a very fall album to me.
Gene, fall, nighttime, spooky album, fall album, not spooky all the way through. But everybody always goes after Radioactive, the beginning of Radioactive, calling Radioactive. And once you get to the song Radioactive, it's not scary.
Right.
And me and you talked about, if they would have recorded, we included this on our soundtrack. If Gene would have recorded "When You Wish Upon a Star" like in a minor key and sounding like very "When You Wish Upon a Star," just very demonic, how that would have took a turn. But I want to present to you one of the scariest songs on Gene's album, and that is what song? I've got the lyrics in my head, but the "Always Near You, Nowhere to Hide." That is a stalker song. I'll come and see you. Don't run and hide. I'm always near you. Yeah, and it's just think about the lyrics of that song. It's a spooky song, but so it's a fall album for me. So the next one is Ace.
Ace is summer and also winter. I can do both. I kind of do Ace a lot more in the winter. And I think it's something to do with the silver on the cover, Snowblind, of course. But it's just got a winter vibe to me. And it clicked one winter. I was playing it a lot. And something about the white snow outside and that blue just clicked.
Yeah, I absolutely see it as a winter album for that reason. But for me, it's all seasonal. I hear all seasons in that album, and that is my favorite solo album. So I do listen to that all year. And it's I really like it. It's like I said, my favorite solo album, and it's all seasons for me.
That's a valid answer. And like I said, even multiple seasons or a transition season. Ace to me is a summer album, and it is a daytime and nighttime summer album. You can listen to it during the day when you're out by the pool, jamming to rip it out, or you can listen to it at night. Whenever Fractured Mirror starts playing or whatever, you can listen to it at night. So to me, it's a summer album with day or night. Being able to listen to it, and I can definitely see the blue and Snowblind. I can definitely see that feeling very winter.
Peter is October rain day.
Wow, we're polar opposites. Well, almost polar with that one. Peter's to me is spring, Easter, daisies are blooming. It's like, even though it's green, I also get a lot of pastel purple. It is so spring. It is so fluffy, dandelion. AM radio for me.
That's awesome.
Peter for me, fall. And I've got early fall, before it starts getting too cold, but a rainy day, early fall day, kind of we're at the end of October, so it's not really early fall. But yeah, like a late September, early November, or early October album for me, for sure. Okay, Paul's album.
Paul is October and only at night.
Yeah, Paul's, it's a night album. It is a September album for me. That one weekend in September that's kind of cold and you're like, oh, fall's here, and then it's 80 degrees the next week. that's like, I know it's very specific, but that's my Paul album for me.
And totally weird. For me, it's a night album. We've talked about this before, but it feels like a spring album to me, like a late spring, early summer album. And I think me and you, Carla, might have talked about it before, and you're like fall, and it's got purple, the purple in his hair. But Paul's songs, he has songs on his album that definitely are nighttime songs.
Yeah.
And for the most part, and I could see it being fall, but because there's certain parts of spring, late spring or early spring, where where it almost feels like fall, like those two transitional seasons.
Yeah.
Early spring or late summer, they kind of feel a little bit the same. You have those chilly nights. You have those chilly, the sun goes down and the temperature feels like it drops 10 degrees. It's not quite getting light early in the morning yet. It's still not staying, it's not staying light very long in the evening. So yeah, it could be either or, but it just feels spring to me.
Mm-hmm.
So Dynasty.
Christmas, absolute Christmas, December 1st through December 31st. Christmas trees on, snow outside, disco fun.
Yeah, I see it as a winter album. I see certain songs as summer, so it kind of goes back and forth for me. In the winter, I tend to gravitate toward it more, but then in the summer, I kind of gravitate toward it more. Like the album cover is winter for sure, but then, like I said, some of the songs are summer. So it's kind of both a winter and a summer album for me.
I love and adore the fact that Rick celebrates Dynasty as a Christmas album, and I celebrate that with him. It's like he's almost pulled me over from where I've always liked to listen to Dynasty. And I can see it. I definitely can see it for all the right reasons that he has said. But Dynasty has always, always, always been a spring album for me. It's always been a late spring going into the summer. 2000 Man, I Was Made for Loving You, Sure Know Something, Charisma, X-Ray Eyes, Dirty Living. It's songs like, it's always been it's a transitional album for me, but it's always been like that spring. It's starting to get hot. It's not too hot. It's not, melt your face hot. You can't, it's unbearable to be outside hot. But yeah, so Dynasty to me is spring, and I love that we all have these different opinions and different reasons why I love it. But I celebrate with Rick during December is Dynasty month for me, because I celebrate that right along with you, man, because I love that album. I'll fight people say that it's disco. Dynasty's a disco album. No, it's a rock album that has some disco songs on it.
Right, which was so unavoidable at that time. So many bands kind of into that.
Yeah. All right, so Unmasked.
Spring, absolute spring. April, picture of strawberry Kool-Aid, windows open, curtains blowing in the nice spring wind air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, it's such a bubblegum album. It's very early summer, that kind of like puppy love, like seeing your school crush in the summer, kind of album. Yeah, just bubblegum. I mean, like Shandy to me is so. There's like something where you associate colors with songs. I forget what it's called, but I have that, I guess, because I always, when I hear Shandy, I just think of like gold, like golden. I always think of like a golden, like a blonde girl. I don't know, but I just always associate Unmasked with like early summer bubblegum school crush.
Mm-hmm. Unmasked is my coming of age album. I've said it many times. I love Unmasked. I have a very unique love affair with this album, and it is very much late spring, early summer to me. You're out of school, and it's not quite hot yet, but it's time to have fun. And you have songs on there like Tomorrow and She's So European, and all these songs that's on there. Naked City. Just all the songs. Is That You? And all of Ace's great songs on there. Torpedo Girl, stuff that's just so much fun. But yeah, it's definitely a mid-spring, you're out of school and it's not gotten too hot. You're not into the dog days of summer yet, but you're just getting started. That's Unmasked for me. The Elder.
So if the solo albums for me are mainly like October records and Halloween's the best night of the year, November 1st begins Elder for me. And Elder is very much a Thanksgiving record. I don't know why. Like maybe it's the brown of the cover and the leaves outside, but very much a fall Thanksgiving November record.
Yeah, I would agree. It's not like a light album, so I wouldn't necessarily associate it with spring, or summer. I would say like late fall, early winter for me. Maybe a little bit more of a winter album now that I think about it. But yeah, I would say like definitely somewhere around there, late November, early December.
I got on my notes. This is why I'm letting you guys go first, because I've got on my notes The Elder fall November album. Rick, I hand to God, it really truly is. It has that November. It's not October, but it is November. And to me, the timeline of The Elder happened in November, and the leaves aren't. It's just, and like you said, a lot of it has to just do with the brown too of the album. But yeah, it's always come to me. It's always felt to me like a fall album. Creatures.
Very much October, Halloween. I even think to the I Love It Loud video with the kids riding their bike down the street and you hear the crickets. It's very fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have definitely said on this channel before that Creatures is a fall album, and very Halloween. I think of like the kids in that video, and almost like, yeah, they're not trick-or-treating, but it's kind of getting to be that time. And yeah, it's just everything from the album cover to the songs is very fall for me.
Mm-hmm. Same for me. Creatures. It's a fall album. It's a more of a night album, and I think it's just because of the video for I Love It Loud, the dark blue colors on the album, and even the songs on the album. They have a feel to them. Songs like Rock and Roll Hell and Creatures of the Night, War Machine. They just have a feel to them where it's like the solo when it comes in during War Machine, that does those creepy first notes that Vinny plays. That sounds like that's straight out of, you could be listening to that walking down the street, getting ready to go trick or treating. It just has that feel to it. So definitely a nightfall album for me. All right, Lick It Up.
We're gonna do Killers.
Oh, Killers. Sure, let's do Killers. I'll have to pull that one off my hip.
The only reason I thought of Killers was Carla said Peter is like a spring Easter record. Yeah. Killers to me is totally Easter. I think it's the cover, the pink, the yellow, the blue. Definitely Easter record to me.
Yep. Same here. I don't have a lot of, I don't really associate Kiss with spring very much. But I definitely do with Peter's album, and I definitely do with Killers for sure.
I'd probably say Killers for me feels just, this is off the hip because I didn't have it in my notes. Killers to me is probably a summer album. I'd see it with the pink, but I can also associate pink to summer. Growing up in the 80s, there was a lot of pink going on, and a lot of summer albums come out. But just songs like I'm a Legend Tonight, Down on Your Knees, they just all sounds like activities or things that would happen during the summer. They can happen year round, but they just sound like stuff that would happen during the summer to me.
So my mind went really dirty right then.
Right. That's exactly what I was trying to convey.
A lot of blowjobs in the summer.
Yeah, basically. They can happen year round, but a lot during the summer. I always forget about Killers. I have to, that's one of those albums I don't actually think I don't own a copy of it, period. I really wished I would have got that foil cover vinyl that everybody got a few years back. But I kind of slept on it and waited too long, but I'll get it someday. All right. So Lick It Up. And if I do skip any, just be sure to throw that out like you just did, Rick.
Lick It Up's a hard one. And especially I didn't make notes. I would probably go Summer. So yeah, it's a wonderful rock record. So I would just go totally Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to get really boring and really repetitive for this decade.
I think we all might.
Because Kiss, like I said earlier, Kiss overall is a very fall band for me, but certain eras or decades of Kiss are more fall than others, and 80s Kiss is not fall. So for me, Lick It Up is Summer.
Yeah. Yep. I think growing up in the 80s, I was 11 when the 80s started, and I was 20 when the 80s ended. So that was my, coming up in the 80s. And almost every band, almost everything in the 80s felt like summer. It's like, you think back to some of the big things, it all felt like it was summer. It was just a very summer decade. Like to me, 90s was fall. It was depressing. But to the 80s it feels very summery. Having said that, Lick It Up to me, it feels like summer and fall, kind of in a way, because there's some very much party albums, party songs on Lick It Up, but not what Kiss is going to get into. This is compared to what Kiss will be getting into later in the 80s. Lick It Up is not a party album. It's a rock album, like Rick said. But to me, I categorize it as a summer/fall transitional type album, but more summer. All right, so Animalize.
Animalize for me is very October-y fall.
Summer. Summer.
Animalize for me, and this is just because I lived it. I was around when these albums came out. And I was not only around, but I was like becoming a teenager. I was a teenager, so I was a lot more mentally capacitive than I was when I was 7, 8, 9 years old. I was, when these albums came out, I was 13, 14, 83, 84, I was 13, 14, 15 years old. So Animalize to me, I remember Animalize mostly during the spring. And the spring, even though it has a lot of definitely songs on it that are geared toward the summer, to me, it just kind of always feels like spring just because of when I was exposed to it and grew up with it. So the next album is Asylum.
Asylum summer for me. I just remember watching Exposed a lot, even before I was a Kiss fan, and like All Night and tracks like that just are very summer to me.
Summer.
Yep. Summer for me too. I bought Asylum just before I went. There was a summer that I went to go live with my cousin for a little bit, and I just went and just did an extended visit. And so I basically spent the entire summer with her, and Asylum had just come out, and I took the album with me, and I just remember playing it on her record player in her den during the summer. So it's definitely a summer album for me. Crazy Nights.
Summer but night. It's such a night record. I mean, it's a great day record too, but side 4, total night. The closing of side 2, the closing of side 2, those 4 songs, Reason to Live, Good Girl Gone Bad, Thief, Turn on the Night, and Thief in the Night are so summer cruising songs. And the other day I thought, driving home, I was like, I don't drive with my windows down anymore. Like as a kid, as a teenager, you always had your windows down, probably because you wanted people to hear your music.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't drive with my windows down anymore. And like that record calls for your windows to be down, nighttime cruising.
Yep.
Yeah, Crazy Nights is a summer album for me. It's one of my like ultimate summer albums from any band, artist. Turn on the Night is easily my favorite 80s Kiss song. It's definitely in my top 5 favorite Kiss songs of all time. It might be number 2 or 3, but it's such a summer night album for sure.
Yep.
The hook in that song, oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It would have been interesting if they would have made Turn on the Night the title of the album, and then they would have pushed that song more. It would have been interesting to see how that album, what it would have done.
That would have been a great album title.
Yep.
I know.
Yep.
They should have contacted me. I was maybe 3 when that came out.
Crazy Nights for me, definitely a summer album, a nighttime summer album, like you guys have already said. Cruising in the 80s red Pro-Am with the T-tops out, and even if it's kind of chilly when you're cruising up and down the strip, you didn't care. You didn't stop and put the tops on. You didn't roll the window up. You turned the dang heat on. And you rolled with the heat on, and taking the chill off of the air. But yeah, total summer. There's so many songs they actually mention about being at night. Like you said, Turn on the Night, a crazy, crazy night. Hot in the Shade.
Hot in the Shade for me is May.
Oh.
Not really summer yet. Not spring, May.
That to me is like the hottest day of summer. 100%. It is the hottest day of summer.
Yeah. Hot in the Shade to me is just dead ass in the middle of August. Just the dog days, hottest days of summer. And it just has that feel to it. Every song you just feel like that you can listen to out by the pool. And with a cold drink in your hand. Hot in the Shade is that for me. Okay, let's see. Revenge.
I'm going to go Revenge Summer.
Okay.
I'm going to say Revenge Winter.
Ooh. Okay. And I'm going to say Revenge. I'm going to say Revenge is probably a late summer, early fall album for me, because Gene and Paul couldn't make up their mind the album that they wanted to make. So Paul's songs feel like summer, and Gene's songs feel like fall.
I'm definitely going to try Revenge as a winter record this year, though. That's going to be my goal.
You're going to try it as a winter record?
I think it could work.
Okay. Huh? I challenge you.
All right. Alive 3.
Alive 3 is spring, thunderstorm weather.
Yeah, it's another summer album for me. It's very rare that I'll think of a live album, no matter who the band or artist is, anything other than summer.
Alive 3 to me, it's like it would have been one of those concerts I would have been anticipated. So we would have wanted to, it would have been, that's why it just kind of feels springish to me. All right. So I've gotten also in here after Live 3, we would have Unplugged.
Ooh.
Unplugged is definitely a October Halloweeny type record to me.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of Unplugged. Yeah, I guess I could see a summer fall, because parts of it are very party to me. Some of Alive, it's just such like a good time kind of thing. Especially when you watch or did I say Alive? I meant Unplugged. When you watch Unplugged, like if you're not just listening to it, if you're watching it as well, you kind of feel like you're in the party. So that would be a little bit more summer to me, but just the stripped down acoustics of it. Yeah, I would say maybe, late summer, early fall.
Yeah, I had fall as well. It's not a summer album. And some of these albums I kind of picked what they were by process of elimination. Not summer, not winter. So not really spring. Maybe, I kind of was like tossing around with the idea of spring, but I was like, you know what? In the end, it feels mostly like a fall album.
Yeah. And I actually, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
no, go ahead.
Just watched like yesterday, Rock and Roll All Night from Unplugged. And there's this girl in the audience who steals the show from me. So the next time you watch Rock and Roll All Night on Unplugged, she's kind of behind Gene and she's got a white blazer on, like almost like a white blazer dress. I don't know I don't know if they found her and they just needed an extra body in the audience, but she seems like she's just kind of like bopping her head and she has no idea what's going on. She has no idea who Kiss is. She's like there with some guy, maybe he was into it and she's just like supportive. But every single time she always steals the show for me. I just always focus on her.
Huh.
So next time you watch it, look for the white blazer girl behind Gene.
I've not watched Unplugged in a while. I'm going to have to go back and watch it.
It's strange to think, especially with whatever's gone on, this past couple of weeks. That's a great Ace performance. Yeah. Every song he's on, is a great chance to see him play acoustically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Peter's outfit, Peter's hair, Peter's everything on Unplugged always kind of makes me laugh. It's a little unexpected,
yeah.
But yeah, Unplugged's really good, really, really good.
Yeah. Okay. So I've said fall. Carnival of Souls.
Definitely fall and winter. I think I've always kind of considered Animalize like a heavy metal Kiss record, and I feel the same with Carnival of Souls. And I always get kind of heavy metal hot faced in the winter for some reason. And I don't know. I just remember those pictures of Metallica standing in the snow when I was a kid. And so I just always think winter and metal. And so definitely kind of a fall into winter record.
It is surprisingly kind of a spring album for me. It doesn't really sound spring, but I don't want to say it's a grunge album, but it's in that vein, I guess. But it's grunge just kind of overall. This was, again, I was a 90s girl. So for me, grunge was a huge deal. And like, I remember so much of the grunge movement, and it just always made me think of fall because it always made me think of Seattle, which kind of is like, or not fall, excuse me, spring. It's just always, kind of rainy and damp and there. And, yeah, I don't know. I just always kind of associate Carnival of Souls with spring for some reason. Just kind of muddy. Your jeans, the bottom of your jeans are always wet. That kind of spring. Not Peter spring, like a wet spring.
The world has that everything smells like dog poop.
Yes.
Feel to it.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I don't know what that is, but there's sometimes they're in the early fall. You're right. You walk outside and everything smells like dog poop. I don't know.
I think it's just because all the dog poop is frozen all year and then it thaws out right in spring, and you're like,
Yep, and it's because of all the snow thawing out and everything. It's just wet.
Mm-hmm.
Always wet.
Musty and wet. Carnival of Souls to me is very much a fall album. I listen to Carnival of Souls. It's not an album I listen to a high amount, but my listening on it usually goes up during the fall. All right. Let's see. I have down next we would talk about Psycho Circus.
Definitely fall. It's I think fall because I remember Danny going to LA to see the Halloween night show for the Psycho Circus tour. And so I just always think that, looking at that CD cover right around October.
Yeah. For me, Psycho Circus is a little bit more of a summer album. I think it just, I don't know, for whatever reason, it just is more of a summer album for me. That was my first Kiss thing that I remember coming out. I remember that being a big deal. I remember Unplugged too. But this was like a studio album, and I remember the big Spencers, that whole thing. And, so for me, I would say it's a summer album.
Psycho Circus always been a fall album for me because it came out in September, and I guess just because I remember the time of year it was that I was listening to it when it came out, and seeing the video with the 3D glasses and all the stuff that was coming out during that time. And now I would probably, if I were to remove that from it and take away those memories, I'd probably say, yeah, it's probably a summer album. But it's just, I can't get away from it kind of feeling fall to me just because I was an adult, like when it came out. So yeah, it definitely has a fall feel. If it had came out during the summer, it probably would have had a summer feel for me. So Carla may want to excuse herself for the next couple. We now get to, unless y'all have anything y'all want to mention before this, we now get to Sonic Boom.
Sonic Boom is fall to me. I remember, loving the idea of the Walmart Kiss aisle and taking a day off to go try to find that. And I think it was around the fall. So it's a very fall record for me. Both that and I'll just wait.
Yeah.
I'll say summer. No, I will say I have a new, not necessarily love for that album, but an interest in that album. If you guys watch the Record Spinner, he did like a unboxing of Sonic Boom and just kind of its vinyl history, which I didn't really know that much about. So that was really interesting. And that kind of made me more interested in the album itself. So I actually do have somewhat of an interest in that album. And, and I will say it's summer.
Yeah. It's a summer album for me. It came out in the fall, but Sonic Boom is one of those albums that I slept on. I slept on Sonic Boom and Monster for years. I didn't purchase them. I remember I was working at Walmart at the time, part-time, when Sonic Boom came out, and I remember seeing these stacks of vinyl. There were red, there was green, there was purple, there was blue. And if I'd have known what I know now, I'd have bought every damn one of them. But they sat. And a lot of the stuff in my Walmart in particular, I guess not a lot of Kiss fans live around here, but they sat. And but knowing what I know now, I'd have bought a lot of them. But it just listening to Sonic Boom, it has a very summer feel. So we're down to Sonic. We just talked about Sonic Boom. What about Monster?
Monster is definitely a fall night record for me, and I think it just has to do with when I bought it. I left work, went to Walmart because I wanted that special like booklet thing that came with it. And I just remember it was nighttime and there was a thunderstorm going on. So it's all memory for that.
Mm-hmm. Trash can season.
Yeah. I'll say summer, just because it's like the last hurrah. So I'll say summer.
Yeah. It's fall for me as well. It's Monster does not get nowhere near the play for me that Sonic Boom does. For every one time I play Monster, I probably play Sonic Boom 10 times. There's just so many more songs off of Sonic Boom that I enjoy. Sonic Boom has like a very rock and roll over love gun feel for me because that's really what they were going for. But Modern Day Delilah is actually not one of my favorite songs, even though that's the big hit. I would much rather listen to Sonic Boom than Monster. But so Sonic Boom has a summer feel for me and Monster has a fall feel. Is there any we didn't cover that you can think of? Got a Bob Ross. Got a Bob Ross in my video.
That was from Little Strutter Boy, too.
That was a Little Strutter Boy. Strutter Boy reminds me of my dog Dixon, just the way whenever you pull the camera out and she gives you that side eye, like, why are you recording me?
Yeah.
Well, this is fun. I love this. I honestly...
I'm sorry. I just had a real quick thought
when
Carla was talking about Monster. How cool would it be if Gene, Paul, and Peter would record again using something that Ace has done? Because he has stuff in the can.
Yeah, so kind of like
the Beatles.
Like the Beatles mythology. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. That would be cool.
That would be, and don't even make an album of it. Just, like one or two songs. How cool would that be? I think that would give everyone the closure that they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about, because, Eddie Truck kind of revealed that they were all three at the memorial and the funeral. And I'm just kind of curious, like, were they, I don't know if they were sitting with each other. I'm sure Gene and Paul were, but like, was Peter sitting with them? Was Peter like, were they, separate? Like, I'm kind of curious to know how close they were. Did they talk at all?
Well, I think from what I heard, I think he said Peter hugged them both.
Oh, that's good.
And then, but Paul didn't stay for the lunch. Gene did, though.
Gene's never going to turn down a free meal.
Well, yeah, I think like he just, from what I gathered, it seemed like Gene was more personable,
whereas Paul just kind of made the appearance.
Yeah, but I think that's just Paul. I don't think Paul likes people. I just think he just kind of.
Yeah, if it's not about him, and I don't mean that in like a mean way. I just mean like if he's not there to like talk, or if it's not his thing, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, it would be really nice. I mean, we have the Kennedy honors that's coming up. Was that January?
December, isn't it?
December, yeah.
Is it December? Okay. So that'll be interesting to see what they do with that, especially now with what's going on.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, Ace was so close. Whenever everybody was talking about Ace, whenever it first came out that he was not doing well, I remember thinking, if this is the end for him, I wish he would make it to Kennedy Honors because he deserved to be honored just as much as the other three guys. And I sure hope that they do some kind of extended memorial type video for Ace.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys hanging out. Appreciate you guys. I forgot we're doing a video. Be sure to check out Carla's channel. What's the name of it?
Yeah, so so far it's just on Instagram. It's the only place you can find me right now. It's Real Memory Bank, all one word, all exactly how it should be spelled. And then as soon as I get the YouTube channel going, I will let everyone know.
All right, sounds good. And see, there's the shout out y'all say I don't give. There's the shout out. And Mr. Rick.
Yes, it's all for you, Demon, on YouTube and Instagram, and then Wax Night, Old School Kiss Fun, and an online world will be out on Amazon
On Halloween.
on Halloween.
Dude, can't wait. Cannot wait. I'm going to try to get this video. It's going to be kind of weird for me since I'm not wanting to put one out, and I usually put them out on Saturdays. I think this is going to be a midweek video. I think I can get this edited and actually be out on Wednesday before Halloween comes out, so it can be part of something that helps announce that for you. I'm so psyched for it. I think I'm a little more psyched for this than I was the Wax Night book, although I was really excited for the Rock and Roll All Night and Wax Every Day. I was real excited for that book, but this, I feel like you're going towards, like, I'm going to feel like I'm going to open that book and I'm going to be a 8-9-year-old kid again.
This is definitely for the nerds of the world. So if you're a Kiss nerd, I think you'll like it.
Very much looking forward to it. Anyway, that's all we got for this one. Be sure to check out Ric's channel, check out Carla's Instagram, and be on the lookout for Ric's book, and be on the lookout for Carla's YouTube channel. And we will we'll put our heads together and figure out what we're going to do in the next one. And be sure to look out for coming up Critical Kiss. We're filming Peter's video this week, later on in the week, and Ric will be back in that video with me and Tommy and AJ. And so we're looking forward to sitting down and talking about the Catman and talking about his album, which I personally love. So yeah, so that's all for this one. We'll see you in the next one. And I was going to say take care, because that's what Ric does. But anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.